The carnival had come to town, its gaudy tents and rickety booths sprouting like a colorful fungus on the outskirts of Willow Creek. The air was heavy with the sweet scent of funnel cakes and sugary dreams, drawing in the curious and the reckless like moths to a flame. Among the crowd, one figure stood out, a lanky girl with hair the color of wet earth, her eyes aglow like embers as she wandered through the midway. Lena had heard whispers of a new attraction, a freak show that defied explanation, and she was determined to uncover its secrets. As she pushed through the throng, a calliope melody dripped with menace, each note twisting her gut into knots. The Ferris wheel, a giant iron spider, loomed above the carnival, its seats swinging empty, like skeletal fingers beckoning her to climb aboard. The ticket vendor, a hunchbacked man with a grin that seemed to swallow his face whole, beckoned her closer. "Step right up, little one," he croaked, his voice like the rusty hinge of a long-disused gate. "Madame Luna's marvels await, and the secrets that lie within will haunt your dreams forevermore." Lena hesitated, the words crawling under her skin like ants, but her curiosity proved louder than her fear. She surrendered a crumpled bill, and the vendor handed her a ticket adorned with an image of a crescent moon, its surface etched with strange symbols that seemed to shift in the fading light. As she passed through the entrance, a velvet curtain parted to reveal a dimly lit corridor, its walls adorned with faded photographs of performers long forgotten. The air was heavy with the scent of decay, and Lena's heart skipped a beat as she realized she was alone. The sound of calliope music muffled and distant, replaced by an unsettling silence. Ahead, a lone spotlight cast an eerie glow, illuminating a doorway shrouded in mist. The air seemed to vibrate with an otherworldly energy, as if the very fabric of reality was about to rend asunder. Madame Luna's whispered promise echoed in Lena's mind. "Abandon all sanity, ye who enter here." With an unsteady hand, Lena pushed aside the beaded curtain, and a faint hum, like the buzzing of 1,000 insects, assailed her eardrums. The room beyond was a labyrinth of twisted mirrors, their reflections warping and distorting, making it impossible to discern reality from illusion. At the center, a pedestal supported a taxidermied owl, its glassy eyes fixed upon her, as if watching her every move. Suddenly, the owl's head rotated with an unnatural jerky motion, its gaze fixed on Lena with an unblinking stare. The hum grew louder, and the mirrors seemed to ripple, as if the very essence of the room was alive, waiting to consume her. And then, a voice, like a sigh from beyond the grave, whispered her name. "Lena!" The mirrors around her seemed to ripple, as if the glass itself was beginning to melt, revealing snippets of fragmented images. A forgotten carnival, a midnight forest, a grave with her own name etched upon the stone. The hum grew louder, until it became a deafening chant, each syllable a beat within her chest. Madame Luna's marvels unfolded before her like a dark tapestry, each thread weaving a tale of morbid wonder. In the center, a figure emerged, cloaked in shadows, its face hidden behind a porcelain mask adorned with tiny, glowing gemstones. Lena's breath caught as the figure raised its hands, and the mirrors shattered, their shards reforming into a stained glass kaleidoscope, reflecting a realm where the living and the dead danced in macabre harmony. The chanting grew louder until it was almost a scream, as the figure beckoned her closer, its voice a whispered promise of forbidden knowledge. "Come, Lena, and behold the wonders that lie beyond the veil." The air was heavy with an unholy anticipation, as if the very fabric of reality was about to unravel. Lena's heart raced like a wild animal, yet her feet seemed rooted to the spot, unable to resist the figure's mesmerizing gaze. The gemstones on the mask pulsed with an otherworldly energy, drawing her in with an irresistible force. As she reached out a trembling hand, the figure grasped it, its grip like ice. The room around her dissolved, replaced by a realm of eternal twilight, where shadows danced and capered like living things. The chanting grew silent, and in the stillness, a voice whispered secrets in her mind, tempting her with forbidden knowledge and unholy power. In this realm, the dead walked among the living, their eyes aglow with an unnatural light. Lena saw her own reflection, distorted and twisted, staring back at her from the mirror's broken shards. The figure's mask glowed brighter, illuminating a path that wound through the twilight landscape, leading her deeper into the heart of madness. With every step, the shadows seemed to writhe and twist around her, as if the very essence of darkness itself was taking form. The air was heavy with the stench of decay, and Lena's mind reeled, torn between fascination and terror. As she followed the figure into the depths of the abyss, the darkness coalesced into figures, their faces death's masks, their eyes burning with an infernal hunger. They moved with an unnatural gait, their steps echoing through the twilight realm like the beating of a funeral drum. The air was heavy with the scent of rot and decay, and Lena's breath came in short, panicked gasps. The figure in the porcelain mask led her through the procession of the damned, their eyes fixed upon her with an unblinking stare. She felt their gaze like a cold wind, piercing her very soul. At the forefront of the procession, a massive, rusted gate loomed, adorned with symbols that seemed to shift and writhe like living serpents. As they approached, the gate creaked open, its hinges screaming in torment. The figure pushed her forward, and Lena stumbled through the threshold, into a realm of perpetual midnight. The sky above was a deep, burning crimson, casting an hellish glow over the landscape. A Ferris wheel, its cars like skeletal fingers, loomed above, its seats swinging in a maddening rhythm. The figure's mask glowed brighter, illuminating a sign that hung above the gate, its letters etched in blood. "Welcome to the Carnival of Eternal Delight." The damned, their faces still twisted in a macabre grin, began to chant, their voices a maddening dirge that seemed to sear the very fabric of reality.